Well, it has been 1 year since devastating wildfires hit Los Angeles. We head back to LA to see how these communities are rebuilding. And 5 years now since the disappearance of Maya Millette, the latest on the upcoming trial of Larry Millette, who is charged with her murder. Plus, paid parking is in effect at Balboa Park. More on the new effort by city council members. Hello and welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on our top stories of the week, and we'll look ahead at what is to come around San Diego. So a judge has granted a resentencing hearing for the man convicted in the deadly Santana High School shooting. Andy Williams was 15 when he killed 2 classmates and shot 13 others back in 2001. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 50 years to life. Since then, state law has changed for people sentenced as adults for crimes committed as minors. So the case could go back to juvenile court, where Williams would then have to be released because he is over 25. A hearing is set for next month, but could be delayed, with the DA's office appealing. They argue a parole board found him unsuitable for release in 2024. I was actually just a freshman at Grossmont at the time and do remember it well. We'll keep you posted. And this past week marked 1 year since the deadly Palisades and Eaton fires tore through Los Angeles County, changing countless lives forever. Our Alex Cheney was there in the Palisades 1 year ago and went back there this week to see the progress and the pain of reconstruction.
Just driving around the Pacific Palisades today, you saw so many construction crews, so many buildings going back up, but many still just dirt. Everyone I spoke to today said the Palisades is strong as they begin the process of reconstruction. Strength, resilience, and Palisades pride. The Pacific Palisades look very different from 1 year ago when a fire destroyed thousands of homes and businesses. So this is the main intersection of the Palisades Village. It was just across the street here where I watched that Chase Bank burn down to the ground.
And as you can see, this building is now fully engulfed. I don't think they're going to be able to save this at all.
But now there are signs of new life here in the Palisades Village as they are creating a new Chase Bank just across the street, and construction is happening right now.
It was like releasing anger.
As we walked around today, we saw many longtime Palisades residents angry at the city for not responding to the fire faster. The Lockman fire started days before and smoldered underground, becoming the Palisades fire during heavy Santa Ana winds.
There are winds coming that come every year, by the way. There was nobody there. Nobody thought to go look to see if the embers were still burning. That's really what pisses me off.
We then made our way closer to Rustic Canyon when I saw a familiar sight. 1 year ago, I watched this apartment building burn to the ground.
And as you can see, this building is getting absolutely, completely ripped apart right now. There's lots of embers in the air, flames all the way from the street all the way up into the building.
And now today, as you can see, it is just rubble. They're going to be doing some reconstruction in this area to bring all of the apartment complexes back that they can. This is the Rustic Canyon area of the Pacific Palisades, and this is actually a home that I watched burn down 1 year ago.
You can see the flames are all the way through what I think used to be a 2-car garage. There's now flames that are on the side of the house. You can see it is moving up.
Construction has already begun. You got a forklift moving some dirt around right now. It is incredible just to see what monuments, what incredible buildings and homes these used to be turned to rubble.
People have lost everything.
And on the street, we met a woman who was crying in her grief.
People's lives were torn apart because of this fire. And the worst part is, you could read about it coming the night before.
Just being here 1 year ago and then seeing the Pacific Palisades again today, you just really got a sense of the strength of the community here as they begin that reconstruction process. I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
Just remarkable, Alex, thanks. And this week also marked 5 years since Chula Vista mother Maya Millette disappeared. Her husband, Larry Millette, is charged with her murder. Kelly Hessedal spoke to a legal expert about the upcoming trial. She also has more about a phone call Larry made to one of our producers after we reached out to him for an interview.
And right around noon, Larry Millette called from behind bars and talked with one of our investigative producers whom he has had contact with before. So they talked for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Our producer asked him about today being the 5-year anniversary of Maya's disappearance. But Larry did not want to comment on the record about it. He also declined to do an interview. But one thing is clear. This trial is going forward. I spoke with a legal expert, Gretchen Von Helms. She has no connection to this case. She is a longtime criminal defense attorney who's been following it closely. So here we are talking about Maya's family, my interview with them yesterday, and just how badly they want closure.
And at the end of the day, I really got the sense from them that they just want to know where she is and bring her home and to have that sort of chapter closed so they can move forward. But you're saying they'll likely never know either way.
Likely never know either way. So even if he is found guilty, let's say, even if that's the choice of the jury, then there's appeals, and then, and he may not know. He may be innocent and be wrongly convicted on a guilty verdict, let's say, and then it's overturned on appeal, let's say. And so that is something they'll probably never know.
Which is really sad to think about, this family being put through this whole nightmare.
Well, and there's lots of people that go missing, for example, that their friends, family, relative never know what happens to them. So it's a very common thing, but what's hurtful for you and for the public is that there are kids involved.
And we really took a deep dive into this case and the upcoming trial. For our full 30-minute conversation, it is streaming on our CBS 8 app right now. You can download it now and watch for free. Now, the DA's office tells me the trial is scheduled for March 9th. As of right now, we're told it will be held at the South Bay Courthouse, and it is expected to last 3 months. Kelly Hessedall, CBS 8.
Yes, still so many questions. Kelly, thank you. Meantime, San Diego lawmakers are split over the operation that took Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro into custody. Republican Congressman Darrell Issa praised President Trump, calling it strong action to protect America's homeland from neighboring threats of narco-terrorism, and saying the administration has his full support. Representative Juan Vargas, however, a Democrat, criticized the operation, saying Congress should be condemning this administration's attempt to drag us into yet another conflict while sidestepping the Constitution and Congress. We also spoke with Democratic Representative Scott Peters, who says Congress should have been consulted before the operation.
He claims it's a police action. It may be an act of war, but there's been no communication. So I'm not ready to go there on this situation right yet. But clearly he has disdain for Congress. He believes he can act on his own.
Yeah, the country's future does still remain somewhat uncertain. And we are also seeing mixed reaction among Venezuelans in San Diego. Encuentro Cafe in Old Town became a gathering place for people excited about the change in leadership. They celebrated with music and dancing. Many are looking forward to possibly traveling back to Venezuela.
I have hope that we can go back to Venezuela, where I grew up. Because right now, Venezuelans living there, there is the salary is like $1 per month, so there's no hope for if the things stay as they are.
Reaction across San Diego County, though, not all positive. A protest was held at Waterfront Park, and organizers called it a hands-off Venezuela rally.
We're treating it urgently because this is just the beginning of an imperialist war drive that we don't think serves any working class person here in this country or around the world. And we'd like to see a future without endless wars.
Many people at the event say they were horrified by President Trump's actions. Well, paid parking is now in effect at Balboa Park. We will explain what you need to know and why some council members are looking to suspend some of those fees next. Well, right now, the Trump administration is moving to withhold billions of dollars in aid for low-income families with children. Officials are citing a new fraud investigation aimed at California, New York, Minnesota, Illinois, and Colorado. This would directly impact programs like Head Start. Nonprofits say losing this funding could be devastating.
They're not going to be able to go to school. They won't be able to work. The children won't have a safe environment to attend. To have that foundation that's so important in their early childhood education development.
Now, the White House has not provided specific details on the alleged fraud claims or how these funds would be withheld. Paid parking at Balboa Park is now underway. City of San Diego residents can pay $30 for a monthly pass, $60 for a quarterly one, and $150 for an annual pass. Non-residents will pay double that, up to $300 a year. There will also be a daily rate topping off at $8 for residents and $16 for non-residents. Zoo members will still park for free. Meantime, 2 council members want to suspend the new parking fees at Balboa Park for City of San Diego residents. Kent Lee and Shanila Rivera say the resident discount portal was introduced just days before fees took effect on Monday. They are asking the mayor to waive fees for residents until problems are fixed and people adapt to those changes. And San Diego police are investigating a string of vandalism targeting city parking pay stations right there near Balboa Park. Between December 1st and January 1st, at least a dozen machines along 6th Avenue were damaged. They were clogged with spray foam that made them unusable. 2 were hit even harder with paint sprayed on one screen and suspected fecal matter smeared on the other. Police say they are now testing it in hopes of finding a suspect. The vandalism comes as frustration grows over recently enforced paid parking. Meters along 6th Avenue now cost $2.50 an hour, enforced 7 days a week. And there is a new effort to reduce special event parking fees downtown. This week, Councilmember Raul Campillo argued the $10 an hour fee is way too high. CBS 8's Shannon Handy has details on his proposal to get them reduced.
There's been a lot of controversy lately surrounding higher parking fees throughout the city. Regarding the ones downtown, Councilmember Raul Campillo says paying $10 an hour for up to 6 hours whenever there's an event at Petco Park isn't sustainable, so he's fighting to get them changed.
Charging $10 per hour to park in downtown has been haunting residents and employees and businesses alike, and we need to roll back this program before it leaves a permanent black eye on our city.
District 7 Councilman Raul Campillo says those fees are doing more harm than good. Implemented back in September, the increase was meant to boost revenue for the city as it continues to chip away at a $250 million budget shortfall. But Campillo claims the revenue expected isn't coming in because people are refusing to come downtown and pay those high fees.
Our current collection on meters during surge pricing is underperforming projections by about 35%. It doesn't take an economist to understand how bad it has to be when you charge 4 times as much for something, but still collect 35% less than you projected.
He says restaurants are reporting seeing more reservations canceled and fears businesses could close because of it. Lucy Manzer used to work at a restaurant downtown, but recently found a job elsewhere due to the fees.
It's canceling out all the money I'm making during my shift, so that's why I had to leave downtown because I wasn't benefiting at all.
Campillo's proposal is called the 555 plan. There's 3 components: reduce fees to $5 an hour, shorten the enforcement window to 5 hours instead of 6, and limit the zone to 5 blocks around Petco Park.
When you're 17 blocks away, you're not close to Petco Park. I'm going to draft amendments to the San Diego Municipal Code, as well as City Council policy to affect the changes. And after it's drafted, I will ask the Council President to agendize the item for a vote at the Rules Committee so we can have a vote on it.
When asked about his plan, a city spokesperson said special event parking fees are common in other cities, adding the revenue goes towards local infrastructure and reducing them would create a bigger deficit.
There's no specific timeline as to when the council could potentially hear this issue and possibly vote on it. But Councilmember Campillo says he'd like to see that happen before the Padres' upcoming season. We, of course, will continue to follow this story and keep you updated. Reporting from downtown, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
Go Padres. Thanks, Shannon. Well, recent storms are putting a trash collection boom in the Tijuana River Valley to the test, and so far it is holding up. You can see large piles of debris caught by the floating barrier. The trash boom was installed about 1.5 years ago to stop waste from spreading to the ocean. Organizers say during last year's rain season, the system collected about 500 tons of trash. Now, just 2 months into this rainy season, the boom has already trapped nearly that same amount. With more rain expected this season, this winter, crews say those numbers will keep climbing. And a major construction project is impacting some drivers near the border. What you need to know coming up next. Welcome back. We are hearing reaction from San Diegans after California's plastic bag ban took effect. Customers have to bring a reusable bag or pay for a paper bag now.
I'm super excited that, the no plastics law is in effect, and now we need to use reusables every time we go grocery shopping or any kind of shopping.
Well, I've been doing this for a long time, even before we were supposed to.
Yeah, so the law was authored by local state Senator Catherine Blake Spears. She says it closes a loophole that allowed those thicker plastic bags to stay in stores. Those bags were meant to be reused, but she says most were not. Well, a construction project is slowing traffic near the San Ysidro border crossing. The project started Tuesday and is expected to last 3 weeks. The work impacts southbound Interstate 5 near the port of entry. Crews are removing speed bumps near intersection booths and installing permanent concrete barriers. It also temporarily closes the Camino de la Plaza on-ramp along with 6 southbound lanes of Interstate 5. Phase 2 will reduce the southbound 5 to 1 open lane. The CHP says drivers should plan ahead and consider public transit or crossing there at Otay Mesa. Well, right now, a 60-acre community park in Bonita is facing major upgrades, but not everyone is on board. City officials are considering a master plan for Rowe Park that would remove the 40-year-old horse arena to make room for more athletic fields. Well, local equestrians, including Sunnyside Saddle Club members, say the arena supports hundreds of horses and is a vital part of the community.
The last access to public safe facility, disrupt responsible horse care, and weaken a long-standing tradition that has helped shape this arena.
Now calling on city staff.
Chula Vista's mayor there is now backing the horse owners, calling for the arena to remain part of the plan. The city says the master plan is still in progress and community feedback will then inform their next steps. And right now, experts say 2026 could open the door to more affordable housing options. Lawrence Yun with the National Association of Realtors says more inventory means less competition for home buyers. The other good news is that home prices are starting to dip. The latest data shows the median existing home sale price nationally in November was just over $409,000. But you know it, here in San Diego, that number much, much higher. Mortgage rates are also starting to drop.
Even a quarter point change could mean about $50 savings per month, which translates into about $600 annually.
Yeah, he added that homes are sitting on the market for about 40 days from listing to contract signing, so buyers do need to act fast and be prepared. Well, here's another look now at those big, huge crowds that gathered in La Jolla to check out the tide pools this past weekend. Posts online report people stepping on wildlife, climbing rocks, and even pulling marine life out of the water.
This is mortifying.
And it was more crowded. I mean, I've never seen so many people there.
Yeah, enjoy it from afar because that is amazing. Still illegal to injure or take wildlife at La Jolla's beaches, which of course are marine protected areas. Still ahead, how new construction is impacting the return of one of our species there at the border. Keep it here. Well, border wall construction is now threatening the habitat of jaguars, which after decades are finally making a comeback in the Southwest. CBS 8's Sean Stiles shows us what's at stake and new video of their migration in this Earth 8 report.
It was back in January 2021 that I shared with you in an Earth 8 report about the sighting of a jaguar in southern Arizona. It was believed the cat had come north out of Sonora, Mexico. At the time, Ganesh Marin was at the University of Arizona working on his PhD.
We found an astonishing amount of diversity. And when I am saying that, I am calling you about pumas, blackbirds, beavers, ocelots, and lately we discovered that there is the jaguar. And this is pretty incredible.
Since then, more jaguars have been spotted coming north into Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
This is video of a jaguar captured by Jason Miller, a hobbyist wildlife photographer, on one of his trail cams.
Unbelievable. Here it is.
Wow, what a magnificent creature.
Researchers believe that this is a new jaguar based on the spots on the fur that are like a fingerprint, and that it's not Sombra or El Jefe, the two other jaguars known to come north into Arizona. However, just as jaguars are starting to reestablish their range in the United States, humans are again a threat with the border wall. Russ McSpaden is an advocate at the Center of Biological Diversity Southwest Conservation.
I saw that there were, about a dozen hard hats, guys in hard hats were packing, explosives into the mountain.
Explosions and then plumes of dust soon covered the slopes of the Coronado National Memorial to prepare the land for the double border wall.
Yeah, it's a real stab in the heart to see this.
That's because the land is protected critical habitat for endangered species like the jaguar, who have been recently making their way north into that terrain again.
This new jaguar comes back. It's this moment to celebrate it, but it's also sort of a punch in the gut.
The Center for Biological Diversity filed a lawsuit in July saying the construction was unconstitutional and disregards environmental protections.
We're waiting for this court case to, with high hopes, but, it's a long shot.
And until that decision is made, they'll have to sit and watch as the small wildlife corridor gets smaller.
I really think it's worth protecting. It's a place that's just so special.
Sean Stiles, Earth 8.
Just remarkable to see. We are coexisting, my friends. And this also remarkable, what a feat. So 26 million pounds of dirt is being scattered all across Snapdragon Stadium. This is for the return of Monster Jam and Monster Energy Supercross. It all kicks off this weekend, actually, with Monster Jam on Saturday and Sunday before Supercross race day then on January 17th. Monster Jam returns on January 24th and 25th. Just wild to see that transformation. And hey, this is always kind of fun. Emma and Noah were the most popular baby names in San Diego County last year. That's according to the county assessor. They were followed by Sophia and Mia for girls, and then Santiago and Liam for boys. I also like the name Darren. All right, that'll do it for us. Thank you for your time. As always, thank you for staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day.